Hey everybody, it's Tim.
And it's Amy from GoWithLess. Welcome to our channel. We're very happy to have you here. If you are just joining us for the first time, we made a huge announcement a month ago. And that is that we are planning to become international nomadic house sitters in early 2020. We are now counting down those dates. We are 16 months away, and we're going to talk about our progress on that journey today. So I hope that you will stay tuned. If house sitting, if budget travel, if travel hacking, travel in general, and early retirement, if any of these things are of interest to you, please subscribe right down here because we talk about these things every Wednesday on our channel. So we're looking forward to the conversation today. Thanks for being here.
The first thing we want to provide an update on is sort of our emotional state. And so we are so excited about this. We can barely wait to get going. And so I think every week that passes, the more excited we are about what we're planning to do. Something that we do know is that this is a big leap. So for us, this is something we've done before. So when we leapt into our early retirement roughly 4 years ago, that took a big leap of faith. And so we feel like we've been down this path a little bit before. Obviously, being full-time nomads is a different thing for us. One of the things that we wanted to mention, though, is we have this amazing community of people that we're connected with who are already doing what we're planning to do. So even though we're blazing a new trail for us, there are lots of people who have been down this path before. We happen to know them, and that makes it so much easier for us to take this big leap. Something else worth mentioning is we've heard some people in our extended community suggest that this is somehow scary or this is somehow intimidating. I can see being potentially intimidated by the thought of this for a lot of people, but for us, fear is not a factor at all. So as a matter of fact, the worst case scenario for us is if we get out on the road and 3 months later we decide this isn't for us, then our plan would be to come back to Denver and be here and have our amazing life that we currently have in Denver. So it's not like plan B is we don't have a place to go. We would simply come back and be here in Denver.
What we find scary is not doing this. We have this burning desire and passion to go see the world. I'm 50, Tim is 51. Our time is kind of running out, to be honest.
We're very young.
And so we say that we want to be young enough to walk the world while we still can. So we better get out there while the getting is good. Our trips tend to be very physical, so we walk long distances, 8 to 10 miles every single day after day after day. So we're giant walkers. We think it's the best way to see a place, and it's also free. And so we better do that while we're young enough to do it. So the scary part to us is actually not doing it.
So with that fear thing out of the way, we thought we would bring up some of the things that we're considering as we move down this path. If you've actually brought up some of these concerns for us, there's a good chance we probably thought of it on our own, and so
we're not calling
you out in any way. So but there are a lot of topics that we are considering as we get down this path. Luckily, we've got over a year to sort of move through these things, but we thought we'd mention some of these today.
First is our health, and what do we do if we are far away from home and we have a major health issue? This has been asked of us, and we have asked it of ourselves many times. And that's probably the number one reason why we considered keeping our townhome and maybe renting it out just so we had a home base to come back to. We've decided we're not going to be set up for that situation. So if, hopefully, this doesn't happen, but if we have some major health concern, we're going to figure out a plan on the spot. We don't plan to come back to our current town again. We are in a suburb of Denver, so our plan is to come back to Denver. We're in Denver almost every day. We'd like to be in Denver throughout the day, every day. So our plan is rent or buy a place in Denver. Yes, it's expensive right now, but it's where we want to be, and some things are worth paying for. So we figured that makes sense to spend some money on if that's what we need to do. We could also house sit in Denver, do a long-term house sit, or even like a month-long house sit. So we have options in the Denver area if that is where that goes. But not having a place if we are very sick, that definitely is kind of in the back of our head, and that's one of those what ifs. Those what ifs can consume us, and we're going to kind of blaze right through that and hope for the best. And plan B is we just get an apartment or figure out something on the spot, and hopefully we don't need to. So to put a lot of effort and time and investment and money and things like that into what happens if we get sick, we're not going to plan for that right now. We're just going to kind of have it in the back of our head, and it has been there.
Healthcare around the world seems to be as good as it is here in America. So certainly
Sometimes better,
varies, sometimes better, and certainly more affordable. And so if we are sick, there's a good chance that we can just take care of whatever's going on wherever we are at a much less expensive price point. One of the common questions that we're asked is, what are you going to do with all your stuff? And actually, this is a question we ask of ourselves. So we partially answered this for ourselves before we started the process. However, as things get closer and closer and we're actually considering, what are we going to do with these things? So I think we have different things come through our head every day. So number one, we're going to get rid of most of our furniture. We figure that our new place is going to be much smaller whenever we do decide to settle down again.
Like a 1-bedroom.
Yep. And so our furniture probably wouldn't fit in that space. There are a few pieces that we may keep. Our televisions and things like this, we're potentially going to be doing this for a decade or longer, so we figure this technology will be outdated, so they'll just go. We'll either sell them but I doubt we're going to have that in storage. So we are going to keep a few things in storage. We're thinking that once we get things in storage also, when we make an annual trip back to Denver, we'll take a look at the storage and maybe go through a further series of getting rid of things. So we have this process that we're considering that seems to change with some regularity. But we're hoping to get rid of most of our things.
Now, that doesn't settle so well with me at all times. However, I'm going to do it anyway. And so our 63 days in Europe, I had one kind of small bag that people might go for a long weekend with. I had that for 63 days. I had a total of 2 pairs of shoes, 1 pair of earrings, 1 necklace, kind of bare bones. I got a little sick of my clothes in those 63 days. I'll be very honest about that. But that doesn't mean that it is worth not going around the world. So people say, I've had friends say, I couldn't possibly be with 2 pairs of shoes. That's it. I want to go see the world. So would I want to go see the world, or would I want to have more shoes? I'm going to go with option A. That doesn't mean that I don't miss my stuff, though. I collect cookbooks. There's a whole bunch of things that I enjoy kind of having around me, and I use those cookbooks. I don't use all 200, 300 of them, but I use maybe 40 of them on a regular basis, and I really do love those. So certainly the internet is great, but there's nothing like turning pages of a cookbook. I love them. I'm a cookbook collector. So when Tim says that we're going to be getting rid of some of our stuff, he is right. We are going to look at long-term storage for some of those things, and where we're kind of having some trouble, though, is we've never done the really long term. So we had been working our whole lives, and we couldn't take long vacations. So this past summer for 9 weeks, we loved it. As I mentioned, we didn't want to come home. It was so wonderful. We're planning on this being our lifestyle for some time until we are sick of it. However, we've never done it before. So say we hate it and we want to come home in 6 months because we miss the feel of our own bed. We totally get that. So we're not guaranteeing this is going to be something we fall in love with for 10 years.
We will.
We do have a feeling that we will. Yes, we 100% are all in that we will, but we're open to maybe we aren't. And so then the question comes, what happens to the things, do we get rid of, are we planning to go for 10 years, or are we planning to go for 9 months? So we are going to come back to Denver. Should we just, all my really expensive fancy spices, my perfumes, my stuff like that, the consumables, things that I wouldn't want to be sitting in a storage unit for 10 years, what do we do with those? Do I get rid of those? Or what? So actually, let's get into that right now. We're going to be coming back to Denver is our plan every November for a month every year. So then we can go into that storage unit and kind of rifle through it and be like, hey, it's been 9 months. We love this so much. Now we're ready to get rid of this stuff. Or maybe we say in 9 months, hey, we're kind of getting pooped. We want to stay put. And we are interested in having our home base be back in Denver again. Let's keep this stuff around because maybe we're going to be getting back into a home. So I think we're looking at let's check this out for 9 months. I think we're figuring out our plan on this video. Thanks for listening. What do you think?
We also have this amazing life that we've built here in Denver, a life that we love that's here. So we have volunteering. For us, though, there's some seasonality with our volunteering, and it seems to sort of come in the fall. So we love the Great American Beer Festival. We love what we do with the Denver Film Society, especially around the time of the Denver Film Festival. We also love the DCPA, the Performing Arts Center, and we volunteer there. So all these things sort of happen in the fall. So we're considering making a trip, an annual trip, back to Denver in the fall. We'll house sit or do whatever while we're here, and take advantage of or be involved with these volunteer organizations while we're here during that trip, as well as catch up with our family and do the things that we'd want to see doctors and things like this while we're at at home here in Denver, even
and
though we don't
catch up
have
with
a home.
friends.
And
We
catch
have a
up with
lot of friends in Denver.
That's exactly right. So we'll have some time to be here, but we just won't have a place that we call our own, and we will be either at an Airbnb or at house sitting or doing something along those lines.
So now that we're at 16 months from launching, we're kind of planning out that time. What we've decided to do for 2019 is spend 3, 4, 5 hours a week purging, and really streamlining what we have so that what goes in storage makes sense. We still have so much stuff in our big purge from our big spending life to our retired life. We already purged somewhere between 60 to 80% of our stuff. We still have so much stuff. It's crazy. It gives you an idea of how much stuff that we had. So we're looking to a planned purge every single week, and we're hoping that saying it here keeps us accountable to that.
That's right.
Because that's something that's easy to cross off of our list if we get busy. So
Yep. So just to reiterate, we are certainly not fearful in any way of what we're planning to do. So we're excited about all the things we have on our plate. Something else a friend of ours mentioned that we thought we would bring up here because we feel sort of similar is that she said, this is somebody who has traveled extensively, that she is addicted to new. And this addicted to new means addicted to new places and sort of seeing new things and eating new food. And so I think that's part of the reason we're launching down this path is similar. I feel like we have this addiction to sort of having new experiences, experiencing new things, experiencing new cultures. And so that is why we have this plan to see the world.
yeah, so we do like to walk a lot. And it's really nice to be able to go to new places and take new walks. So wherever we are, it's kind of like a nice place to take a new walk. But when we're doing it at the same home all the time, it kind of runs its course and it gets kind of boring. Actually, it gets really boring. So we love going out and just taking walks in new places. That's really exciting for us. We met another new friend who talked about that he stays in a place until he's bored of it. So what we have found, because we've always had limited time to spend somewhere, we would get in and decide where is it that we'd want to go back again, and we'll kind of have that idea as we traveled. Well, it turns out that we want to go back to everywhere we have ever been. No joke. Everywhere. Everywhere has great food. Everywhere has beautiful stuff. Everywhere has interesting people. So there's everywhere that we've ever been, we want to return. Well, we don't have time to do that really in our life. So in our longevity I'm talking about. So what we're planning to do based upon a friend's recommendation of what he's done is he stays in a place until he's done with it and then he checks it off. He says, I don't have enough time to do it all. He's almost 50. So he says, I don't have enough time to do it all. So I'm going to stay in a place until I'm sick of it and then I move on. So I think that we're going to adopt something like that. So it's slow travel for sure, but it's going to be slow travel with a little bit of intention of let's do everything we can and then hustle to the next place and stay put and do everything we can and do that on and on and on. So that's developing, I guess, as we go. And we're looking... go ahead.
I was going to say, I think, so this is, I guess you're seeing real time us thinking about what our plans are.
Real time on the video.
On the video. Seeing what our plan building process looks like. So we have conversations like this in the car all the time, and then we have it here on video as well. So
we actually have it all the time everywhere.
Everywhere.
On walks,
That's
on
right.
everywhere.
Every day we're developing our plan and continuing to change our plan, and so. But we are big planners, so you're seeing real time here us thinking about what is this really going to look like when we get on the road. And so we're trying to share some things with you about some of our concerns and also what our planning process looks like and then what we're hoping to be doing and why we're hoping to do it. So, but we are as excited as I think humans could be about our plans.
What we'd like to hear from you on this week's comments is what would you feel about ditching everything and hitting the road? We know that it is not for probably most people. Some are very excited to see us doing it and have absolutely no interest in doing it themselves. Great. Some are dying to do it themselves and are living vicariously through us. Some think we're absolutely crazy and can't understand why we'd want to go all over the place and not have a home again. So where are you on that kind of spectrum? We'd be super interested to hear it and know that people are all over the place and welcome all different kinds of people and viewpoints, and that's wonderful. If you like today's video, please give it a thumbs up. to subscribe. Please hit the button down there so that you can see what's happening with us every single Wednesday. We talk about a variety of travel-related things, not just this. This is just kind of a different conversation every once in a while that we have. So if you did stay tuned all the way through the end, thank you so much. Again, we want the comments down below of what would be your thought about this idea for yourselves. What do you think about it for us? What do you think about it for yourselves? And lastly, if you have anyone else who's looking to have that dreamer, like the dream of traveling around the world, please share it with them. Share it on your social media. We would be very grateful. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of December. We still have a ways to go. We're getting up there. We're moving kind of fast, but we still have a ways to go. So with your help, we hope that we'll get there. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next Wednesday.